Merhabalar. Bugün Teras Sohbetlerimizin yeni bir bölümünün kaydını alacağız. Sağ olsun dostumuz Xiao Ling developer adı. Gerçekten bu Xiao Ling ile Web3 dünyasındaki insanlar Ling diye biliyor, tanıyor onu. Daha önce Kaş'taki komünitemize gelmişti. Kaş'ta bize sağ olsun güzel eğitimler vermişti. Sonra bizi Ethereum Riyadh'a davet etti. Beraber Ethereum Riyadh'ı düzenledik. Kendisi Ethereum Shanghai'nin de organizatörlerinden. Ethereum Riyadh'ı Shanghai düzenledi. Yüzden fazla ülkedeki Web3 yolculuğu var. Yüzden fazla ülkeye gidip orada developerlara eğitti. How many countries did you visit about from your at Web3 journey?
I think around 50, 50,
50.
50, yeah,
50.
around 50.
But
Yeah.
total you visit country more than 50, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And bugün global ekosisteminden, uzak doğu ekosisteminden, kendisi şu an Dubai'de yaşıyor. MEN ekosisteminden bahsedeceğiz ve girişimcilikteki yolculuklar başlıyoruz. Firstly, welcome.
Oh, thank you.
You support us. Thank you so much. Because you just came for our event and dün şeyimiz vardı, dün güzel bir eventimiz vardı Cyberpunk'la alakalı Road to DevCon öncesi. İlkini İstanbul'da düzenledik. İkincisini kurucu ortağımız Tarık şu an Tayland'da Chiang Mai'de çalışıyor. Bundan sonra Bangkok'ta DevCon'da beraber olacağız. Arkadaşımız da sırf bizim eventimize Dubai'den dün çıktı geldi. Az sonra da uçağı var. Onun için biraz kısaltabiliriz. Thank you again. I want to ask you about your journey and you can introduce yourself shortly maybe about your Web3 journey and you are really early adopter. You started your journey in 2018, right? Maybe
Yeah,
before this.
yeah, 2017, 2018, something like that.
2017
Yeah.
and you gave a lot of workshop and education to builders. How many builders you raised that give education and we can maybe our friends heard about from you?
Yeah, I mean, for myself, I'm a coder. I start coding at the year of 9. And I mean, I graduated from Canada. After that, I go back to China and do my startups. For myself, I educate more than 30,000 coders in China. And also, I mean, collaborate with Binance. We educated the first 1,000 blockchain engineers in Africa. I travel all the places around the Middle East. And, I mean, I travel to many countries. Some of them are very good. For example, I mean, the economy is very good in Saudi, in Abu Dhabi, in Dubai, in Amman. I mean, the economy are strong, and you can see a strong community there. Some of them, I mean, the economy is not that good, but we do see, I mean, really interesting way to mass adoption. I see people are very energetic, like Lebanon, like Iraq, Baghdad last month was there, and also, I mean,
That's really interesting. You
yeah,
was in Iraq and Baghdad
yeah,
last month and
yeah,
you
yeah,
gave
yeah.
education, Web3 education, and you raised builder at there.
Yeah. I mean, for myself, I teach people how to code there. Actually, in Lebanon, Beirut, our teams teach people how to code in a basement, and the electricity goes off several times. And also, same situation for Iraq, Baghdad. We collaborate with Iraq 200. I think there's a hub there, but the electricity always goes off. And also, Americans ban a lot of services. For example, the students there cannot access to OpenSea, so this is quite a struggle for them. I mean, even they are at the same start point, but after they compile, after they deploy the smart contract, after they have the NFTs, they cannot check on OpenSea. And also a lot of tools, even some CDNs are not stable there. So they face a lot of, not only from technical, but also a lot of obstacles from the real lives. I think this is a real challenge for them, yeah.
Yeah, their challenge is really tough.
Yeah, I mean, I think their condition is harsh than Turkish friends. So, of course, I think Turkey has a great potential because there are a lot of youth and a lot of really experienced engineers. And I think Turkey is on the way to mass adoption. There's a lot of student clubs, there's a lot of community and associations. And this is a really good way to approach mass adoption from my point of view. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. We have a good potential, and we are trying to make this potential kinetic
Yeah.
energy and real. And what do you see around the world, like from 2017 to today? Maybe about cyberpunk culture, maybe Web3, and a lot of institution and commercial side entrepreneurs came in this ecosystem. And what's happening, and what's your predicted future?
2017, things are totally different. So at that time, very few builders in these ecosystems, and very few people know how to code in Solidity. Very few people know how to build a dApp, how to connect the front end to MetaMask. So at that time, very few ventures will invest in you because I mean, merely the majority of the ecosystem are still rising from the bottoms. So in 2017, I think there's an ICO hub, and after that, 2018 and 2019, the whole industry goes to really bottom. I mean, you face a lot of problems. I remember that 2018, the Ethereum price reached like 1,500, and
2018 it
yeah,
was 1,500.
1,500, and then it decreased to like 150. Uh, at that time, I mean, I really have a tech face. I think Ethereum is really, I mean, a nice strategy. They have the tooling complete smart contract, and you can code everything on Ethereum. So I buy the Ethereum. I mean, nearly I buy all the Ethereum at 150. But after that, it dropped to like 89. So all the builders at that time, they have no hope. They think, maybe the industry is this. I mean, we cannot see the future. I mean, we cannot survive. And at that time, a lot of really talented, I mean, engineers and startups, they transfer into other tracks. But in nowadays, I mean, we see the Bitcoins was getting mass adoption. As we see the Americans, they have Bitcoin ETF, they have Ethereum ETF. So I think nowadays the majority of people, they have some sense about cryptos, and also there are a lot of ventures they love to invest. But the entry bars become really high because I mean, recently we see the entrepreneurs, we see startups, they graduate from Stanford, they graduate from Harvard, they graduate from Princeton. So they have really good tech background, and also they have really good business sense. So it's different from like 7 to 8 years ago because at that time, I mean, there's no entrepreneur at all. Very few entrepreneurs. If you know, if some people know that you are building that, this interesting. If some people think you are building this one is cool, they say, oh, this one is cool. But for people nowadays, I mean, they see too many projects and they have too many options. So the entry bars becomes really high, and also the competition becomes more, I mean, complicated than the early age. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's really good summary from whole process. And what do you think about like communities and economy sector and institutions? If you think about like compare Far East, like Eastern world and West world, because you have a really good connections. You was in Europe, Portugal, France, and now you are in Dubai, UAE, and you have a good relation with Riyadh. Also, like you can compare like MENA region, West world, and East world.
Yeah.
What is the difference about like communities,
Mhm.
developers, idea, culture, like culture about our ecosystem? Because I can say also something because I was in Thailand and there is a lot of Chinese DAO was there, and they are organizing now pop-up city, and actually we are more close to Eastern culture. Because when we are eating food, well, not in our restaurant, but in village or somewhere, or from our childhood in family, we are sharing foods like Chinese restaurant.
Oh yeah, yeah. Of
And
course.
we really love to pay when we are going to restaurant our friends, not like a Western culture. And we can see these things Chinese though, same things, and Chinese communities. But when Eastern people, Western people are came to that, and they became like them. But we can see some difference. What are you think about like whole general like market, institutions, governments behaves, everything? What do you think about difference? MENA, Western world, Eastern. But I think, in my opinion, East side is more lucky because if you wanna build something in Europe, there is a lot of regulations and restrictions, same as USA. Maybe in China, same. I heard this. But between this, MENA is so free, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well, this is such a big question. I mean, I'm trying to summarize in a short paragraph. But in general, I think in Asia, I mean, even in Far East Asia, the ecosystems are so comprehensive because you see developers from China mainland, you see developers from Singapore, you see developers from Hong Kong. So Hong Kong is a special region of China. I mean, you can do cryptos, you can do Web3, everything is supported in Hong Kong. I mean, you can have Hong Kong Web3 Festival. But in China, they more focus on the blockchain technology, like the coding, like
Not crypto.
yeah, the coding,
Just technology.
yeah, how to build smart contract and how to use middleware, how to develop some tech. And for in Hong Kong, you can do kind of nearly everything. I mean, under their regulation. And in Japan, Korea, they're also totally different. I mean, in Korea, I think they have really energetic communities. I mean, they have really good communities. I mean, in cryptos and also in Web3 tech. But in Japan, I feel like they're a little bit conservative. So everything was under regulations, and also they have really high tax. And in Thailand, it's more like a paradise for digital nomads. I mean, the price there, I think they are nearly cheap than the majority of.
Yeah, it
I
was
mean,
amazing.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, it was really amazing.
I thought like I couldn't come back.
Yeah, the weather was nice, and the people there are energetic. A lot of digital nomads, they travel to Thailand and they travel to Chiang Mai and they start coding there. They form up teams. I think the community are very good. So I mean, it's quite different between different countries and different regions. This is what I see in East Asia. But I think there's one common thing for East Asia. I think the majority of their tech, I mean, we are very hardworking and the technology are hardcore. Some of the top engineers, I mean, they can compare to Valley, they can compare to Europe. I mean, they are really good at coding. So a lot of really good tech people, they come from East Asia. So that is what I see. And in MENA, I mean, MENA is also totally a different story. I mean, I traveled to some really developed countries like GCC areas. I mean, they have a lot of money. They have their understanding about Web3. For example, in UAE, in Dubai, they have Vara. They have their own.
And their institutions and governments also really open-minded, right?
Yeah, I mean, they are
And they are
open mind.
supporting.
They are open mind and they understand what is Web3. I mean, it's not a simple word says they support or they do not support. I mean, there are different track. For example, maybe they do not like scams. Of course, I mean, no one likes scams. Maybe they do not like some specific track, but in general, they understand Web3. So they have idea about how to management, how to regulate it. So this is their kind of advantage. And also in Saudi, I think now they are trying to know more about Web3 and the community is growing in Saudi. So these are for a lot of, I mean, the economy is well developed place. I think they are rich. I mean, they have money and they love to invest and support the new tech because this is a kind of in a wave of digital transformations. But I mean, I also travel to some, emerging market. At that place, I think a lot of people they are trying to use this tech as a new opportunities, and some of them trying to survive in these digital transformations. For example, I know several startups in Lebanon. They are trying to learn the bleeding edge technology and do the outsourcing. It is really a good way for the coders and for the startups to survive, and they can get the outsourcing they can get the outsourcing orders from Europe. They can get the outsourcing orders from United States, and they can get cryptos as their salaries. I mean, this is pretty fantastic.
Yeah, that's good solution for them and lucky for them. Also, our common friend is Ramzi
Yeah.
from Lebanon,
Mm.
and he has a good community out there.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite different even in MENA region. And I think, yeah, Turkish, of course, is one of the most potential market because I see a lot of youth here and experienced engineers, and also the people are very energetic. They are very excited about cryptos and Web3s and mass adoptions. So this is pretty good. And compared to Europe, so I also traveled to like 5 to 6 countries in Europe in early this year. I think Europe is also quite different. I see there are some places similar to Thailand or some digital nomad paradise like Portugal's. I mean, Porto and Lisbon, and the regulations there are a little bit chill, and also you can live in a really relaxed and chill ways in Portugal. And also there are some places that are super expensive, and the communities are there because they have also really good hardcore tech. Um, but I mean, maybe the expense for normal people, for digital nomads, is too high. For example, Switzerland and also Belgium. I mean, ECC was there, a large community was there, but the price there are not that cheap, and the communities are very friendly. But sometimes they do not have so many people to reach mass adoption, just like China, India, and also Middle East, because we have a lot of populations. And yeah, this is generally what I see during the Web3 journey. But I mean, there are too many specific details, but I think I just trying to summarize.
Yeah, general things. It was good. Like we talk about like whole worlds, all regions, MENA region, East and the West world, and talk about like from 2017 to today.
Yeah.
Like general summary for Turkish community. Thank you so much. And I wanna ask you some more personal question and advice. You have long journey in crypto and blockchain. Actually, like from 2007 to how many years? 7 years, right?
Yeah, 7.
7 years is like a lifetime for crypto because even like more than 90% is like less than 7 years, right?
No. I mean, for a lot of Bitcoin's experts, they entered this industry like 10 years ago because at that time, I mean, I buy a little bit Bitcoins, but I cannot say that I entered the industry. I didn't code.
But you saw process.
Yeah, I saw, at least I saw several process during these 7 to 8 years.
Yeah, you saw several process. What's your advice as a entrepreneur? Because you have several startups, right?
Mhm.
Like ChainIDE,
Mhm.
MatrixLabs,
Yeah,
Word 3,
yeah.
and you can mention like several words about these companies
Mhm.
and what are you doing at there, and maybe you can advise what was your biggest challenge at your journey,
Mhm.
and what is your advice to new entrepreneurs?
Yeah, for like 7 years ago, for ChainIDE, it's pretty simple. We build the developer tools. So we help the coders to compile and deploy smart contracts on different blockchains. So we collaborate with Ethereum. So we have a lot of events like Rebase Ethereum Hackathons, Ethereum Shanghai, Ethereum Riyadh. And also we collaborate with BNB Chain. We have Binance Africa Cars. And we have, Indonesia Blockchain Weeks. I teach people how to code there. We also collaborate with Polygon, Sui, Flow, different blockchains. So this is like a developer tools. We help the coders to accelerate their products and accelerate their dApps, how they can build it faster. And for MatrixLabs, it is a startups that we help different companies. They do like the technical partners. For example, we built the Fanta Bear in last cycle. It is an NFT issued by famous Chinese singer Jay Chou, and there are a lot of great output from that. And also we do the multi-chain metaverse last cycle, and in this cycle we rebranded it to be Wall3. This is how connections between Wall3 and MatrixLabs. And in Wall3 now we are trying to do the AI-driven autonomous world. This is more like the AI-driven fully on-chain games. And we do have a great connection with a Bitcoin ecosystem because this cycle Bitcoin's community is really high, and they are looking forward for more mass adoption and applications nowadays on Bitcoins. So through the journey, I think the most things the most important things you need to do is fitting the market. You need to know the trends because this is Web3. It always have a hype and it always have some pump and dump, right? And also you need to know what is the storytelling in different cycles. For example, in last cycles, personally, I love it very much. There are a lot of tech-driven stuff like Uniswap. It is super elegant. Only 500 line of code. They can deal with like $100 billion trading volumes. There are a lot of exchange. They have so many engineers. But for Uniswap, you can use AM, you can use Solidity, you can use smart contract, and you can down the core code in like 500 lines. So this is like super elegant, and also a lot of capitals love to buy, Uniswap and support the ecosystems in DeFi. But in these cycles, we see there's the paradigm shift. Maybe after DeFi, they have NFTs, they also have NFT hypes. And in this cycle, we see Bitcoins, we see inscriptions, we see Tong, we see meme tokens, we see new trends and new storytellings. So this kind of storytellings and also the market shifting is always happens in Web3. A lot of really rich friends. They invest in Bitcoin's early stage and they cannot catch the next wave. So they are super rich, but they cannot. They cannot have so much impact in different cycles. But there's also some serious entrepreneurs. They can catch up the opportunities in each cycles. They can survive in each cycles and still are very impactful and they are still in a long term builders. So I think this is a way you should try to do. Try to learn, do a lifetime learner, and also trying to be like to learn from each cycles and to learn new storytellings. This is the things you need to discover by yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good influence. And you met many people yesterday at
Mhm.
event, like entrepreneurs, coders,
Yeah,
builders,
yeah.
some startups, and they told their story to you. What's your advice? Because you know many VCs, like biggest, very big VC around the world, like G2Z Ventures. They are is your friend.
Yeah.
You have a good connection with Yatsu, Animal Brand, and you know also their behaves, right? Their reactions. What is your advice if, for example, we are like Turkish entrepreneur? What is your advice to us? What we should do in our startup?
Mm-hmm.
You gave a good advice yesterday, but
Uh,
you can
yeah.
repeat maybe.
Yeah, I think first you need to position yourselves, not position yourself like I'm the leader in Turkish community. I'm the best engineers in Turkish in Turkey. This is not the way you should position yourself. First, you should be open-minded and you should be visionary. You need to know that everybody, every project they reach the capitals, they are the top projects in their countries, and you need to compare the projects in Valley, you need to compare the projects in China, you need to compare the top projects in India, in UAE. So this is the competitors you have, because each day there are like hundreds of the pitch deck and startups ideas coming to this kind of capitals. They see the top projects around the world. So you cannot just position yourself in Turkey, but also you need to position yourself to compare your project in the world level, in the world stage. So this is very important.
Yeah, if we want to be successful, we have to position ourselves at global level, right?
Yeah, because the business is a business. They will only invest in top projects around the world, not they will invest in top projects in Turkey. So you need to position yourself. For example, your tech, your marketing, your community. These are the things you should compare in the world stage. Still, you need
three legs, three things should be global level.
Yeah, I think
community should be global.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are living in 2024. Everyone has internet and they don't care like it's Turkish brand or American tech. If they're good, they are using it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we are using Instagram, Telegram, or something.
Yeah.
And also in Web3 is same.
Yeah.
No one is checking brands nationality.
Yeah. I mean, always you want to find the communities who support you. But I mean, if you are international, you can only get support from local community. It may help, but I mean, there are a lot of large communities around the world. You should be international to capture this attention, to capture this traffic. And I mean, this is the ways you should position yourself. You first need to compare with the top project around the world, not only in Turkish. And also you should tell, I mean, you use unique, I mean, the unique resource you have. For example, I know in Turkish communities, if you can speak Turkish, then you can reach the community locally. I mean, you should express yourself. Okay, now we are good in the international, in the world stage, but also we have a strong support in Turkish community. Then you can express yourself. Okay, we are totally different from other projects. We have great connections here, but still be practical. I mean, you need to really have a great connections, not on the papers. I mean, there are a lot of communities, but you really need to get inside and get the, real support. Then you can show your different. So I mean, first you need to position yourself. You need to get deep into Turkish community to show your unique, and then maybe you need to know what is the end stories about your business. You should not only see, okay, I want to build this product in year one, in year two, but also you need to have a good storytelling. So you need to think about the end stories about your story, about your project. For example, we want to build a big graph, then we can get listed or we can get acquired by some big companies. You need to think about the end stories, not only, for example, if you want to build a game. I mean, it is good to have a game file to try it for several times, but what is the end of the stories? You will have a different token economies, you can attract a lot of builders, and in the end, you got listed because you can incentive the communities and they will support you in a really, I mean, in a great way. So I mean, you need to think the end, how I can get listed. Maybe this is the stories you should think from day one, not from like after 1 year I'm trying to be listed. You need to think these stories from day one. I mean, you need to compare, okay, these projects, maybe this is your role model, they already listed on some top exchange. So what is their factors that they got listed? What is their, factors that lead to success? You need to think deep and you need to be smart. This is the things that you need to do. Yeah.
Thank you so much for this conversation.
There are much more details because this is actually for startups. You need to, there are so many obstacles and challenges. But whenever you pass the challenge, sometimes you will forget because for entrepreneurs, you will pass a lot of obstacles and you will pass a lot of challenges every day. Whenever you pass it, sometimes you will forget it. But still, be resilient and think deep. This is the way you should survive. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And now we have to go to breakfast after
yeah.
airport. Thank you for coming. Inshallah, we will meet again in Dubai.
Thank you.
And we will continue our journey. And thanks also support to Turkish community. And everyone was happy yesterday. And I hope it will continue to future. We will make more good connection and strong relationship between Turkish community and global community like you.
Yeah, thank you.
International community.
Always love to contribute to anything I can do. Please just contact me.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Teras sohbetlerimizin sonuna geldik. Çok güzel global tecrübelerden ve uzun tecrübelerden dayanarak birçok tavsiye verdi. Bir sonraki teras sohbetimizde görüşmek üzere arkadaşlar. Hoşçakalın.